Before I give my presentation, I want to give an overview of my presentation. Um, my topic is gonna be what brings our as a nation and what defines our personal and national identity. I will give two opposite opinions first. Then I will give my three arguments. What people have been arguing for centuries about what's the definition for polity. Polity is a regime of the government. So why or what brings people together as a nation? Why did immigrants come to America? What are the differences between state, nation, society, state, and the nation? In 300 BC, Aristotle said, "What brings us together is the pursuit of happiness." In the 17th century, Thomas Hobbes said, "What brings us together is the shared conceptions of legitimacy." In the 20th century, some nationalists said, "What brings us together is the national soul or the spirit." And of course, Gandhi was one of the biggest nationalists of all. I agree with Aristotle's idea, and indeed it is the pursuit of happiness that brings us together as a nation and determines our personal and national identity. In 1651, Thomas Hobbes wrote a book called Leviathan, the first political science textbook, in which Thomas Hobbes coined a term, political absolutism, meaning the government has the total monopoly and the sovereignty over the country's churches, university curriculums, and all institutions. Thomas Hobbes' idea, based on an anti-Aristotle's point of view. Aristotle thinks human desires are good-oriented, but Thomas Hobbes thinks human desires are to avoid evil. Therefore, we need a political law and order to avoid wars and conflicts. However, I don't agree with that. Human beings are born as, even though human beings are born as sinners, we can still be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves, according to Matthew 10:16, by relying on the power of God. The government should represent the wills of its people, and its people should decide the best happiness for themselves. It is called democracy. Absolutism does not make a country more sovereign, but absolutism undermines the authority and absolutism leads a authority to dictatorship, which impedes its citizens from achieving the basic goals of freedom and happiness. In 1940s, Mahatma Gandhi started a nationalistic movement which called Britain to leave India. Gandhi advocated the method of nonviolence and the power of national spirit. However, Gandhi's nationalism does not stop the partition of a major Muslim league in India, which is Pakistan today. And the tension between India and Pakistan grew rapidly over time. Because the Hindus and the Muslims do not share the same language and religion, they do not share the same concept of happiness. After all, two countries are pursuing the different goals in terms of religion, and their goals cannot reach the same conclusion of happiness. So in both the Declaration of Independence and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, the equality of unalienable rights to liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness were mentioned twice. So it is without a doubt that it is the happiness, the pursuit of happiness, that gather Americans. 12,000 years ago, the Arawak people, the first generation American Indians, were looking for a place to dwell. Bands of hunters came to America to chase elk. After they found out America is a better place in terms of eating better and more meat, they brought their whole family to America and have stayed there ever since. They were pursuing a better life in terms of eating more meat, which defines those indigenous Americans as the first generation, as the first group of people lived in the land of America. In the 17th century, Quakers and Puritans came to America to seek freedom. They were fleeing from religious prosecution performed by the Church of England. The Puritans established their biggest and most successful settlement in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Those middle-class people and skilled craftsmen came to America to seek political and religious freedom, which essentially were to pursue a better life. They were originally English people, but in order to pursue a better life, they had to forsake their original personal and national identity. Now, immigrants come from all over the world to US at an increasing rate. They think America is a better place. But because America will become a place where they can go to schools getting straight A's and without doing any homework. America will become a place they will live in indebtedness and still keep raising the limit. America will become a place they can be doctors, earning a lot of money in the very profitable healthcare system. America will become a place they can buy luxurious homeland security. America will become a place they can even go to New York to see their special friends getting married. For example, a large number of immigrants enlisted them in the waiting list to come to America because they believe America has better lifestyles, better attitudes, beliefs, loyalties than those of their own country. However, as a matter of fact, they have never been to the United States. Therefore, the happiness those immigrants are pursuing right now is very misunderstood. Hobbes and the nationalist's definition for national identity are not valid because the shared conceptions of legitimacy alienates our personal identity from the national government. The national spirit or national soul only works in a country that its people are sharing the same concept of happiness, also religion. Aristotle's idea about the definition of personal and national identity, the pursuit of happiness, is true because American Indians were pursuing the happiness in terms of eating more meat. The Quakers and the Puritans were pursuing a better life in terms of seeking freedom. The immigrants were pursuing a better life in terms of living in a better quality. Incontrovertibly, happiness is the meaning and the purpose of our life, the whole aim and end of human existence, by Aristotle.